So this is Dave Eckmann with the Chamber of Commerce. And it wasn't that long ago that I got to be on one of your programs.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I'm returning the favor here. And I want to kind of set up our conversation first with, as most people know, our Chamber of Commerce is now located in the old train depot,
That's
the
correct.
Historic train depot that I used to watch in Cleveland, Ohio on 60 Minutes back in the 60s. When the commercials, came on. And as we entered into our new location, we had to do a capital campaign for that, which, by the way, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, that we completed that.
Yeah, congratulations.
We're at 103% of that. So people are still giving, and we're glad, because things always cost more than you thought they would.
Without question.
But we're at 103% of that campaign, and so we're full speed ahead in everything we're doing. But we called that campaign the On Track campaign. And you've been on our site, and you see that we have railroad tracks similar to yours that run right by us. And so we called it the On Track campaign because with the Chamber of Commerce in the train depot, that kind of, in our minds, represented people who are participating in our society, participating in the economy, doing well by the world standards and that. And you represent all those businesses as well as nonprofits.
Absolutely.
on that level. But we're really meeting people who aren't participating. And so we want to be a temporary stop where they can get back on track and move down that road. So that's why we called the On Track campaign.
Right.
So, I want to start off by asking you a question, and we can dialogue back and forth as you see fit. But one of the things you shared with me is that the way your office was located now at that location, that you regularly saw people walking those tracks.
Still do.
And the streets. So why don't you kind of share that with everybody?
Yeah, so where we're located at the Historic Train Depot, we have the rail line behind us, and then we have Washington Street to the front. And so we do, through just the proximity of our location, we do see a lot of the homeless that are moving from the west side to the east side. A lot will use the rail line because it's a shorter, more convenient, circuitous route. That will go over towards the Marty bus. And then we have those that would determine that they're going to go over on the Woodson Park area there. And so we see it every day. And as you describe, Craig, people at obviously different stages of where they're at in terms of their mental health, their sobriety, and drug addiction. It's visible when we see it there. And we see the even on Clark Island, where we're located and where Woodson Park is that encampments pop up, and so we do have we don't have issues with the homeless people doing damage or anything like that. That's not it. But it's visible, and it's here, and it's real, and that's why I'm here today to share that.
So let me ask you this. It's a little bit sensitive, but I think you can answer it. You can answer it well. As a person who's leading the Chamber of Commerce, and obviously you're looking at community growth, community well-being, and things like that. How does having a homeless population that's visible, how does that impact the city itself?
Well, absolutely. Can share. So when we have people that are not living here, and they come to the community, and they're looking at moving here, and they see that visible presence, and it's really on their account of how they perceive it, because every community is dealing with this and grappling with this issue. It's everywhere, even in rural America. But when they see that, and if there's a feel from that person that's here, It's like, I don't know if I want to come here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to spend my family time here or relocate here. And again, it comes to perception.
Yes.
And then businesses also make the same determination. I don't know if I want to have my business situated in an area where it's hard to do commerce.
Mm-hmm.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. So there are determinations that when, because when it comes down to it, the community is the core of what needs to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, our organization this year, we've added into our core values the importance of human development and bringing everybody along.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
From kids in school, homeless, people that need a helping hand to lift up and become part of our community and productive. And it's not easy work. I know that. My family dealt with some of those issues early on with my brother. And so, but it's going to take a community and really recognize that we do have a challenge and we have to address it. You cannot step aside.
Yeah. It's a sensitive thing to say and to talk about because it can sound like, well, we don't care about them as people. We just compare about our community and the perception.
Right.
But it's real. We also, I think there's also, and we talked about this, I don't remember who with yesterday, a little bit like that, and just what I'm appreciative about Wausau is that some communities only see the unhoused as a problem to solve, not as people to serve.
Right.
And so when we say something like, well, it's not good for people to come out of town and this to be so visible that they don't want to be here,
Right.
It almost sounds like we're saying that's a problem to solve. But I just heard you say, as you've created your plan,
Right.
it's the development of people. It's human development. So it's not just business development.
Right.
It's not just building, development. It's human development.
Right.
But that is viewing those people as people to serve.
Absolutely.
Not as a problem to solve. So that was very encouraging.
And it's what's really, it's the human dimension first. Being a good human being, good soul, and giving a sincere interest to help people first and foremost. But when you look at the challenge that we have especially in the greater Wausau area, we have a demographic crisis going on. We have a workforce shortage, even though it may have been tempered a little bit at this point in time. Statistics say we have a long road ahead with workforce. What does that mean? That means that we have to do the best we can to make sure we're working with our K-12 post-secondary institutions to develop and retain, but then to work with populations that need help, get them the help they need to become productive, heal themselves, their souls, their minds, and then become productive members of our workforce.
Yeah. I remember you said to me once in one of our previous conversations, and so a lot of these conversations I'm actually having conversations I've had before, just not publicly. In one of our previous conversations, you challenged me to think that what we do at Bridge Street Mission is actually workforce development. Do you remember that conversation?
It is, and I'll say it again today.
Yeah, can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So when because there are social costs of homelessness, obviously, and the public dollars that are necessary to flow there to take care of the people. But why I talk about that is that when we're building community like we are trying to build, a measure of a community will always come as to, do they take care of their children, their aged, and those that are underserved or in need. Those are three measures. And so when it comes down to what the employers need, and we have you've got different programs here, like the Joseph Project,
Mhm.
that help to connect those people that need another chance. And we have business and industry that are willing to roll up their sleeves and be part of that solution and give people another chance. Along with what you're doing, though, because you're building those basic building block skills that are necessary for success to move that person into the workforce, into a company culture. That's the importance of the work you're doing. And that culture, that piece that I'm talking about, is people have to have those soft skills. And that's a core workforce topic. And you're doing that. And my hat's off to you for doing that.
Yesterday, we had the privilege of talking with the folks at Northern Valley Industries. And it was amazing. They're a social enterprise.
Yep.
But it was amazing with what they're doing as far as workforce development. And they even went beyond that. Many of the people that they hire are in the homeless community. And I was really pleased and excited to hear that actually they've moved 38 people out of homelessness into permanent housing of their employees.
It's fantastic.
You know, and so that was really exciting to hear. But we also, every year we see more people that we call successful move-outs. And so we see those successful move-outs as being, we measure it 6 ways. 2 of them are faith-based, connected, but the other 4 are just plain society things. And so the first one is we measure, are they growing in Christ? That's obviously faith-based. But then we also try to measure, are they active in church? That's partially faith-based, but it's also about being connected. You know, but we're asking, are they generating income? Definitely workforce. Are they stable in housing? Are they maintaining their sobriety? And are they living in healthy relationships? So if we're able to take someone and at the end of their stay with us, they move out and they're successful in 4 of those 6, it's party time. All right.
Celebrating.
We sell them out. We send them out saying,
you
know, you still have some growth to do because maybe you only have 5 of the 6 or 4 of the 6. But we consider it a success.
Absolutely. You know, and I think, you know, when I learn about what you're doing, the wraparound services that are really essential. I've seen other organizations throughout Wisconsin that had a similar approach where they work with industry and they brought in work cells and stations. And the people in the program lived in a dedicated unit. They went to work, but they had the wraparound services. Life is stressful. Me, you, and anybody else, if you got to admit it, life is very stressful. And so you have to have those services or those support mechanisms of which you provide that are they're critically important. And that's why I appreciate what you're doing and trying to bring greater awareness to this. It takes a community.
So what is, you gave us a little bit of hint in your human development piece, but what is next with the chamber? Or, you know, quite frankly, there might be some people listening that don't even know what a chamber of commerce does. So why don't you kind of give us both the Chamber of Commerce 101, but then also what are the things that you're looking for?
Sure. A Chamber of Commerce really is established, and we were established in 1913 here in Wausau, to be the voice and advocate for business and industry in the community. And what that means is that we connect with our industry partners that are investing into us in our community, and we have dialogue around things that are working or things that are challenges. And what's transpired more, I would say, in the last 20 years is that the world has shifted so much that it's not just about business and industry, but it's about the community of which they must operate and be successful. So We have nearly 800 members. We're at the hub of the community. We have not-for-profits, we have faith-based institutions, we have government, we have education, we have businesses, all members. There's no other organization in this community, and I would say to you in most communities that have a chamber, strong chamber, that can connect and convene stakeholders so rapidly to address challenges. I'll tell you where we're at this coming week. I'll go back about a week. Our executive committee asked me at our last meeting what's going on with the homeless situation, and let's kind of get ourselves made aware of that, because we just started our program year in September 1st. So
that's interesting to me that discussion is happening. You know, at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
It's interesting to me that discussion is happening in council chambers.
Yep.
It's interesting to me that conversation is happening in a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know.
It is, and it's bubbling up in these different spots like you're talking about. But the one thing that a chamber does, we try to impact the level of positive commerce, the dollars and the sales for our members. The second thing we do is advocate. Chambers are designed to be the chief advocate for business, industry, and community. So there are times when we are asked to go to city council, county board, the state down in Madison. Federal's a little bit less because it's got its whole different environment out there. But for a chamber, we have to work within the confines of our community to be an advocate. So what we're doing, why this has come up now is, okay, we've got a new year. There has been some movement with respect to the housing that is down at the Methodist Church and whatnot, and an arising concern about the preponderance of traffic and impacts on commercial. Where people are afraid, fear. There's fear. They don't know. And that's part of the problem that we have to overcome, is to identify and allay the fear. And so what we're doing is on this coming week, our advocacy committee's meeting, and we're going to have the chief of police in, and we're going to have some businesses in, and talking about this topic. And we know, we know there are public policy issues that must be addressed. And it's not to vilify the homeless. No, it's not. It's to be able to make sure that our community is developing public policy areas that are going to help this community and the state of Wisconsin. There's ownership in that.
Okay, excellent. So when you drive by your chamber, there's obviously something going on there other than business as normal.
Right.
So can you share with everybody what's happening?
Well, we're right there at the gateway of the community. That's historic Clark Island. That's where commerce started in Wausau in 1845. And John Clark bought that island in 1873, and he developed it. And I have all the map of the island where all the businesses were in 1873. So it's appropriate that we're there. But what's really happening is this: so we bought the depot, we've renovated the depot. We're not quite done with it, but we bought it to preserve the powerhouse, the historic powerhouse behind the building, which was built in 1904. First power generating station in Wausau. It was intended to power the streetcars, and it produced so much power that it was able to sell off residual power. So we're restoring those two buildings and bringing them back to 21st century use.
Okay.
So that's what's
Excellent.
happening.
Yeah, well, that's exciting to see. So on the topic of homelessness, addiction, mental illness, we had 1,800 logins during the conversations last night. I haven't seen numbers for today. So now that we're into the daytime hours, there could be a significant audience that's listening.
Sure.
And so what would you say is the most important thing that they need to understand about homelessness from your perspective, maybe what you've learned by observing them walking by you, by having to deal with business owners who are concerned about it. What have you learned, and what's the most important thing that you feel you need to communicate?
It's easy to make judgments right away, and guilty. But what I've learned is that, and I've engaged with some of these people and talked to them when they pass through on the island. I'm out with my dog out there, and understanding that there's people are at different points in their lives for different reasons, and that respect one, and then to be able to understand and allay fears. But really, when it's an important human dimension topic, and we have to do a better job of understanding, and then for me, Chamber is finding the right policy, the right policies that will help. But you know what? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
That's right.
And so it's not going to be this boom, problem solved. That's not it. This is a long-term, long road problem, and people need to understand that.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because community-wide that's true, but that's also true in individuals. You know, sometimes we simplify to that person should go get a job, or that person should stop doing that. But the reality is that true recovery is a lot of work for the person in recovery, and it's a lot of work for the people who are trying to assist them in recovery. You know, and you know, we're toying with, well, to really help a guy, what is it, a year and a half? Is that enough time even?
Right.
Well, we want it to be, because there's more people who need the space and need the bed and need the same assistance. You know, so.
But every person's different.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. But again, if you got off path and you walk 12 miles off path, don't expect a 2-mile walk to get you on path.
Right. Yeah.
And so we have to understand that. We have to be willing to put that time and effort and the resources it takes to do that in.
Right.
But we're actually, in this community, we're seeing that. I already mentioned to you what's happening at Northern Valley. We're looking at our successful move-outs. It's happening.
It is.
It's happening, and we should be celebrating that.
Absolutely.
Not just bemoaning the fact that there's more people
Right.
but understand that it's not a quick fix. It's not as simple as a place to live. It's not as simple as changing your behavior one day.
Right.
You know, or one positive moment. It is truly it's a journey. And that journey is filled with ups and downs and things like that. So appreciate you coming.
Yeah. Thank you for the invitation,
Dave, and for taking the time. And I'm going to look back here and kind of see who's next to come up. So
thank you.
all right. So yes, thank you for coming,
appreciate it.
Dave.
You bet.
Appreciate it.